Hi guys, welcome back. We're back with another video, and today we're going to be looking at how you can use order blocks and also count your levels in the right market context. Right, but before we go on, if you are new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell icon to be the first to watch when we upload any new content. If you find this video useful, leave a like. Alright guys, so what we're going to be talking about today is the power of order blocks, right, and how you can then combine Btmm, right, and take very good trades trading with this approach, right. But of course, as I always mention, that you need to be very selective when it comes to trading, right. But with you being selective, that means you're going to stick to a strict set of rules, right. You're going to stick to a strict sets of rules, knowing the probability of your setups, right. So having rules will always keep you disciplined and not lead you to making any irrational decisions. All right, so guys, what we have right here on USDJPY, this is the H4 time frame right now. Obviously, looking at it from a bigger picture, you obviously need to understand where the market is coming from, right? You need to understand your market structure. That's one important thing, right? So as we just focus on this H4 time frame, what we can see is we had a nice reset right here, right? We had a very nice reset with structure playing out very well, right? And we had order blocks being respected, right? So as we can see from this peak point that we have right here, as you can see, we've got a peak point, and then we had a nice move to the upside, right? We had a nice move to the upside. Okay, now as we can see, if I just remove this, right, so you guys can have a better understanding of what I'm going to be teaching you today. Okay, so as we can see, remember, this is your H4 time frame, right? So we are going to focus more on periodic rises or drops. In this case, this is an up cycle, right? We have just come off a reset, so we are going to be looking for periodic moves to the upside. And in this case, these demarcations that we have right here, right, are going to show us movements of the weeks. Okay, so as we can see, we had a nice peak formation, and then we had one level, right? This is one level. Why am I calling this one level, right? Because you can see this is just 1 week of rise, although the move started playing out towards the end of the week. The new week started, and then we continued with the move, right? As you can see, we continued with the move. So as you can see, within these movements right here, within this 1 week of rise, we can actually count level 1, right? We can also count level 2, and we can count the last level. And as you can see, the last level was a nice burst of price to the upside. So this was a nice move, but as you can see, this is just 1 week of rise, right? So if you're going to be analyzing this 1 week of rise, what can we tell, right? Remember, these were the previous structures that we had. As you can see, this area right here was a nice high, right? And as you can see, we created a very nice area right here, a very nice order block, right? Remember, you need to stick to a certain sets of rules for you to be able to identify these order blocks with clarity, right? So this was a nice order block that we had, but this was just 1 week of rise. And as you can see, into the new week, right, into the new week, this is what we had, right? As the week ended, right, the week ended right there, and as the week new week started, as you can see, price moved back to our order block. Remember, this is where your unfilled orders are. But if you're going to look for confluence, what do we have? As we had this peak formation to the upside, we had a 1350 crossover, right? And as you can see, into the new week, this was a trap below the 50 EMA, which is something that you should be expecting, right? So what did we have? Right here, we had from peak formation to the end of the first level, we had level 1, right? This is what we had. We had level 1 week of rise, right? And we had identified our order block. And that what order block, that is where we actually had a reset for the new week, right? This is where our reset was for the new week, right? So from that area, what we had from that area, right, we had a nice move to the upside. This is from the order block, right? This is from the order block, a nice move to the upside, probably the same length. Let me just check. Yeah, the same length of level 1 is approximately the same length that we had for level 2. right? Approximately the same length that we had level 2. So from this reset, this is where we then moved into our level 2, right? So this would be a second week of rise. All right, so from the second week of rise, the area that I'll be keeping an eye on would be my previous structure, right? So from the previous structure, we had level 2 breaking this high, the higher high that we had right here. So we had a new higher high formed, and you need to understand what's in control of price, right? So in this case, this order block right here, not really clear, but this is, more advanced, right? Not really clear. You can see it clearly if you can go down to your shorter time frames, right here, right? This was a nice order block that we had right there, but we are focusing on the H4. Okay, so from the H4, what do we have, right? You can see that the trades that are actually playing out within the cycle are trades below this 50 EMA when you have identified the right market cycle. And as you can see from this order block, the same thing happened, right? The week ended, and then we had a peak formation, right? We had the peak formation. As you can see, these types of trap moves. Let me see if my annotation tool can allow me to do some drawings. Okay, let me do so, right? So as you can see within this cycle, the setup that we had, remember, there's two types of M's and W's. In this case, we are focusing on W's because we are in an up cycle, right? There's this type of MMW where the first leg is lower than the second leg, right? And there's different ways where you can confirm this type of W. And then comes this WA, the second leg is lower than the first leg, and this one is more powerful because these right here, this right here would be a move where stop losses would be hit below there. So this is more powerful, right? And in you being selective, you can actually keep an eye on that type of setup. All right, so so as you can see at this order block area that we had right here, that is exactly what we had. First leg there, second leg, which went to the order block, was a nice move. Even right here was the first leg, right? Look at what you had, a nice first leg there, and then the move that went to the order block, there you go, it was below that, and this all happened at the order block. So what's important here is understanding your trap moves, right, and understanding your setups. Okay, so from that level, we then had the third level, and as you can see, it was approximately, approximately the same. That's why I don't really focus much on ADR, because it always differ, right? It will always differ. So this is how I count my levels, right? But remember, I am very selective. So this is a cycle, right? This is a cycle which played out for over, over 240 pips approximately, right? And as you can see, we had a nice reversal, and within this reversal, this was just 1 week of drop, right? After this 1 week of drop, we have actually, this would be a nice area that you would identify as an order block. And as you can see, this is where price currently is right now. Right, this is where your price currently is right now, and we all know where price is heading to, right? If you're going to be looking for shorts, this would be a nice area to keep an eye on. If this continues going to the downside, then we can also keep these areas as our targets, right? As our targets, right? So this is a very interesting area, and of course, if we're going to look to the left, we can all see that price is actually coming from a supply level. So you looking for shorts, or you expecting shorts as price gives you the 3 levels into the supply area, that would be a very good thing. So going down to the H1, you can see we've got a nice peak reset right there. This is what we call a peak reset. So from this area, I will expect price to reach these regions down here, right? And I will definitely follow my setups. Right, so I hope you guys have learned something from this. Remember, there's more to it, right? So for those people who have an idea when it comes to Btmm, I know this would definitely be helpful to you guys, right? This would definitely be helpful to you guys, and I hope this will enable you to make better trading decisions. But as I always say, it all comes down to being selective, right? So guys, what we're going to look at right here is an example on gold. All right, guys, this is the markup that I actually sent out to my group, and as you can see, this is gold on the H4 time frame. And as I always say, I keep my trading very simple. Right? There's no need to complicate your trading. because that will always lead to losses. Right, so I had identified my order block right there, and I wanted price to get back to that level. So I was not really interested in what's going to happen here. And as I wanted price to get to this level, I was actually keeping an eye on this area for targets if I do enter this trade. Okay, so as you can see, this is how this trade played out, right? And you can see this trade definitely required some patience, right? This trade definitely required patience, but the area that I was interested in is right here, and price did get there. And as you follow your rules, this would have been a good trade. Right, so as you have identified an order block and you're trying to simplify your trading, trust me, if we can move to our Btmm, what we can see is we actually had a 1350 crossover, right? So after a 1350 crossover, a high probable trade that you can wait for is a bounce off the 50 EMA, right? In this case, this is what you had, right? We have identified your order block, and this is what we had. We actually had a trap below the 50 EMA this week, and we continued moving to the upside, right? A very simple trade, right? But if you knew what you're going to be looking for, right, you definitely had a very good amount of pips ready for you, right? All right, guys, I hope you guys have learned something from this video. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more videos like these. For those who haven't joined our free Telegram channel, find the link in the description below, and don't forget to leave a like. Thank you.